Thanks for tuning in and welcome to this week's review of Mr. Brooks, starring Kevin Costner and William Hurt.
Showtime.
Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the Portland Chamber of Commerce Man of the Year, Mr. Earl Brooks.
I never dreamed that I would one day be standing here.
Hello, gorgeous.
Hey, Daddy.
I think you should go back to school.
You didn't even go to college, and you're successful.
You've been a good boy for a long time. You know you want to do this.
Hello.
No visible signs of forced entry. We even had to cut the security chains to get in.
Well, if I didn't know better, I'd say these people were killed by a ghost.
The man outside insisted that I give this to you.
What is it that I can help you with?
I've been watching that couple for months. Till I saw you kill them.
When I first saw the trailer, I thought his character was an assassin, but he's really a serial killer who's also a respected man of the community who even wins the local Man of the Year award. And with all the sequels, remakes, and other rehashed movies that are out there, it is refreshing to say that this movie is not another standard Hollywood filler that we've become accustomed to. Mr. Brooks is a very interesting movie that does have a lot of twists in it, and it is captured in a unique way, that if done poorly, it could fall flat on its face, but this movie does a good job of pulling it off. And I must say that I was intrigued through the whole movie wondering how the story would play out, and I also remember feeling this way for some of the movie The Number 23, but if you see my review on that movie, it was a huge disappointment in the third act. This one does not disappoint anywhere throughout the movie. The whole time it had me guessing on how it would play out, and that isn't that common for a modern Hollywood movie to keep you on your toes like that. Most of them have become fairly predictable. I will let you know right now, this is not the fastest paced movie on the market, but I like the methodical and deliberate pacing, and I would liken it to something like last winter's Zodiac, a well done, well thought out script that was fairly polished and did have good direction. The movie does have a great cast with no real weak points. Some people don't like Kevin Costner, but I really don't understand that. Sure, he's done some bad movies, but he's done some great ones as well. And I think he's done enough good ones like Dances with Wolves, No Way Out, Tin Cup, The Untouchables, and JFK to name a few, to make up for the occasional Waterworld and The Postman. William Hurt is as good as ever, and I loved his small role in the history of violence, and he's just as good in this movie. The plot does get pretty complex, and it does keep you wondering how the story will play out. And again, I love the way that it keeps you off balance with the little twists and turns. It doesn't play down to the lowest common denominator in the audience. It just goes on its way and doesn't explain every little detail. And it's nice not to be spoon-fed a movie like I'm in some rest home and need to be talked to like I'm a child again. If you're looking for action, this movie does have some, but again, this is more of a drama/suspense movie than an action movie, and I would say this is more of a cerebral experience than a visual one, and that's fine with me. Anyone can just blow stuff up, but to make you really wonder what's going to happen next is a lot more difficult to accomplish, and this movie does a good job of keeping you off balance. The execution of the script is done very well. The story moves along at a slower pace, but it didn't really drag at any part in the film, and for me it was just the right speed, fast enough to keep you interested, but deliberate enough not to lose you while telling the story. The ending was one of the stronger parts of the film. This has been a problem these days. I've seen so many movies that have a good script going into the third act, and it just falls apart and the studio is still greenlighted anyways, and that just bothers the hell out of me. But to have a complete script that doesn't feel rushed or have major flaws in it was nice to see for a change. This movie was not perfect, but it was engaging and entertaining. There was a scene in the last few minutes of the film that really did surprise the hell out of me, and I'm not really going to give anything away, but you'll know it when you see it. We'll just say that it has something to do with scissors. And make sure not to spoil the movie review with a post about anything regarding the ending or other key parts of the film. This is one of those movies that the right info can really ruin the movie for someone who hasn't seen it yet. Overall, I would say that Mr. Brooks was a good movie, but it won't make a killing at the box office, but it will do pretty good on DVD. So if you want a unique movie experience, this is it. I enjoyed it and I recommend it to anyone who wants to see a movie that's not from the same old mold as most Hollywood movies released in the last couple years. Some may not like this movie, but I'm a big fan of any movie that takes some risk and has some originality. Let me know what you think about this movie if you get a chance to see it. From overall rating, I give Mr. Brooks 3.5 stars.
Maybe you'll get killed crossing the street and save us the mess of doing it.